And today we're going to be talking about our not top 10 of 2018. Every year has terrible movies, and today we're going to be talking about the worst of the worst.
For those of you who did not see, we just uploaded recently. We should have uploaded recently our top 10 of the year, our top 10 best of the year. We'll put a link in the description for that as well if you guys wanted to see that too. We're gonna be doing a similar format. We won't have, or I won't have, honorable or dishonorable mentions. That's what we call them. Michael will have dishonorable mentions. I just have my top 10, but like I said, we'll break it down by, we'll do our 10 through 6, then he'll do his 10 through 6, 5 through 2, 5 through 2, and then we'll both do our number one, our worst, or the worst movies of the year. Did you want to start this one, or have me take it off?
I'll kick it off just because I have the dishonorable mentions.
Right.
I know you didn't have dishonorable mentions. These are just movies that I just really did not like, and I wanted them to be on this list some way and have the world know that I hated these movies as well. So, starting off my dishonorable mentions, I had The Nun. Following that, I had Halloween, Vox Lux, Breaking In, and Death Wish. Again, all movies that I really just did not like, that I borderline hated. A couple were pretty disappointing. But yeah, those are my dishonorable mentions.
I was gonna say you had Halloween in your list. I actually don't have it in mine. I was gonna say that is probably one of my most disappointing movies of the year. I was extremely hyped for that movie. I'm a really big horror fan. The first Halloween, John Carpenter directed the shit out of that movie. So I'm a really big Halloween fan. It's probably my most disappointing list, but it didn't crack my top 10. Vox Lux was also really disappointing. And then Nun, I still don't hate it as much as most people do, but I mean, it wasn't a good movie by any means at all.
Yeah, they're all okay. Just I think disappointing factor definitely just plays into me hating them. But all right, then moving on to my not top 10. Starting with number 10 was Sorry to Bother You. This is a movie that's pretty well critically acclaimed. A lot of people really like this movie. And
that's one I was actually surprised you threw on your list too.
Yeah, I don't know why it's getting the praise that it did. Good cast, pretty decently directed, but the first half it was pretty good. I liked the direction they were going. The movie was a little weird and it was wacky, but it kind of played into that very well. It was going into like the third and final act where things just got really weird. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, but that third act, it was just atrocious. It was just weird, and I think for a lot of critics it seemed to work out, but for me, it didn't really work out at all. Moving on to my number 9 was Strangers Pray at Night. This is definitely a case of sequelitis. The first movie has kind of became a classic over the years. I remember seeing it in theaters, and it scared the hell out of me because it wasn't like demons or anything stupid like that.
It's
Zombies.
Real.
It's real. It's not like it really happened to anybody. But this movie, it was sequelitis. It was something that just like they pulled into this little trailer park, and if they just were, and no one was there, they could have been like, oh, no one's here. It's kind of creepy. Let's kind of just drive away. Then that's the end of the movie. So this movie's just filled with just stupid character decisions that they do. Stupid, cheesy murders, and just there was one scene in a pool.
I was actually gonna bring that up too. The one scene in the pool was actually a really good scene this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. The music, the lighting, the pool. That was a good scene, but. There's like the ending. They're almost like invincible. Or something happened. Have you seen the movie? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Someone eats a shotgun blast, and it's just stupid.
To the face too.
To the face, and they just walk. But it was I don't know. It was bad. It was good, kind of entertaining, kind of bad, but definitely in my not top 10. Especially because I'm a huge fan of the first one. But moving on to number 8 was another shitty slasher for me. It was Hellfest. Interesting premise. I remember when you told me about this movie about a guy who walks around through this hell crazy amusement park thing.
It was an interesting concept.
Yeah, he goes around and kills people in this mask, and people think it's a joke and they think it's part of the game, but it's not. It's some weirdo trying to kill people, and it didn't really work for me. I thought the acting was okay. There's a lot of cheesy acting, some pretty funny kills that happens. Then the ending's kind of it's all right. I don't want to spoil for anybody, but I didn't mind the ending as much, but. I don't know, a bad slasher is always one of the worst movies you could possibly watch. Moving on to number 7, this is easily my most disappointing or second most disappointing movie of the year. It was The Predator. It kind of sums up this franchise because the first one I think is an action masterpiece. Number 2 wasn't really that great. I really love Predators. I thought the movie was just a lot of fun. And this one, The Predator, was terrible. So good, bad. That's kind of been, the case with these movies. But I was pretty hyped for this movie. Shane Black was coming off The Nice Guys, which is probably a top 10.
Another movie I haven't seen.
Yeah, top 5 film, probably of 2016. But I think he just misses in this movie. Some of the action was pretty cool. Some of the best action sequences were actually in the Red Band trailer. I thought the idea of the Ultimate Predator was stupid.
Yeah.
the best thing about the movie was some of the humor, some of the stupid
Yeah.
humor among the vets. That was pretty funny, but overall disappointing movie. But I don't know, they'll make another one day, and I'll be hyped for it, and I'll go watch it. Moving into number 6 was Truth or Dare. This is probably the best, worst movie of the year for me. Like, it was bad, but I had such a good time watching this movie. But it had to be in my top 10. It was just an atrocious movie. Just the idea of you die, you play Truth or Dare, and then if you die, if you don't do it, I think it's just kind of stupid. It kind of. Did you want to chime in a little bit about that?
No, I'm good. I'll save it. It's in my list
It's in
too,
your
so I'll
list?
save
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, terrible movie. The smiles, you just can't get past that smile. But yeah, horror movie. Yeah, that's my 6 through 10. I want to take it over from there.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, I didn't really have dishonorable mentions this year. I mean, if I did, Predator would be there. I think you had Strangers Prey at Night. Those would have been some that were close to making my list too. I think another couple were the new why can't I think of the name of it? The new Purge movie. It just didn't really hit with me. It was okay, but
I really liked it.
really,
I
yeah.
really liked it. Probably the best Purge movie for me. Not saying a lot, but was
Really,
the
the best one?
I think it was the best Purge movie.
I
Yeah.
think the second one is probably the best, personally. But anyways, I'll get into my top 10. My 10th one is gonna be Hellfest, a movie he had on his list as well. It was kind of one like my top 9, they were on my worst of the worst list no matter what. The 10th one, I kind of like, I almost needed one to put on there. There was a lot that I kind of felt similar level to, but it was one of those things. It was a horror movie. It's great. That's the thing too, like you said. Nothing's worse than a bad slasher movie. That's one thing too, is like horror movies. It's never. Horror movies is literally the definition of hit or miss. Horror movie is gonna be really good, I think, or it's gonna be god awful. And then this one was pretty bad too. Every horror movie that comes out, I'm a horror guy. I'm gonna be excited for, and this one just definitely was not there. Number 9, moving in. I think it was one of your honorable mentions. Breaking In. Came out on Mother's Day. I think it had a really good weekend for that. Just coming on Mother's Day weekend. So it's Gabrielle Union protecting her kids from people trying to get in the house and kill them and stuff like that.
It was alright.
Yeah, it wasn't really anything special at all. Like, I almost have nothing to really say about a lot of these movies because it's like they're just bad. It's like, but yeah, Breaking In.
And it's kind of hard to talk about something that you don't like
Yeah.
because you kind of want to forget about it. Like these movies, I forgot about every single one of these movies until I started going over my list.
Number 8 is gonna be Mortal Engines. You had you had Peter Jackson backing it. I think he produced it, right? I thought it was Peter Jackson directing it until I think until the day I went there to see it.
Yeah, I think they marketed it as that, trying to get people to watch it. But I think once all the negative backlash came around, I think he wanted no part of it.
Yeah.
So they kind of took him away from
That's
that.
one thing too, is like if you see a studio promoting producers a lot, they don't really have faith in the directors for the most part. So it doesn't seem like they. The whole movie, like John Campia, reviewer we watched, he said it best. Like the trailer made it come off as like a movie that was. These cities that are, I'm trying to get the words out. You have these drivable cities that kind of devour like lower tier cities and stuff like that. But it's literally in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and that's all you see of that.
Nothing goes on. There's one interesting storyline. They don't really harp on too much. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that.
The ending, if you guys have seen Star Wars, I mean, they had a knockoff Star Wars ending. But yeah, I like one of the actors in it. He was in a movie this year too, Bad Samaritan. If anyone's seen the show Misfits, he was in that too. He's an Irish actor, I believe too. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I've always liked him. He was okay in the movie. He's not like a great actor or anything like that, but I like seeing him in the movie at least. Getting my number 7, it's gonna be Night School. Tiffany Haddish. I don't know what it is from the very first trailer of Night School. I've never seen a Tiffany Haddish movie in my life. I did not want to see a Tiffany Haddish movie ever in my life after even seeing the trailer. Kevin Hart's always hit or miss for me too. Is like sometimes he's funny, but sometimes he's just being a little extra. This is one of those movies that I didn't think it was a very good movie. It's almost like I didn't think it was a story that I didn't really think needed to be told. It's kind of one of those things. It's kind of, yeah. That's kind of it there. My number 6 is actually matching your number 6. It's gonna be Truth or Dare. Oh my God, you said it at the end of yours, the faces, the smiles. That was just Yeah, but it's the game of truth or dare. It's actually an interesting concept. My biggest hope for it is because my biggest two hopes it was Blumhouse, and the last Blumhouse and Universal crossover. The last two were Get Out and Happy Death Day, and they come out truth or dare. And the street cast the end. Three strikes you're out. Or well, the first two weren't strikes. So I'm saying that the third time was not the charm this time. Overall, the ending was I hate it. I despise the ending too. It was just yeah, but yeah, so that's my 10 through 6. So I'll pass it back over to you for your 5 through 2.
5 through 2, so getting into it, not top 5. Number 5 comes in as Winchester. Another interesting premise. I know it's like based on a true story about a real haunted house. I think it would have served better as like a documentary type. Like you said in your top 10 best, Jason Clarke, one of the best supporting actors in Hollywood, he leads this movie. Him and Helen Mirren, I think her name is.
Yeah, she's an Academy Award winner too.
Yeah, they're both, they're great. And this movie just, nothing happens. They're just in this boring house doing boring stuff. That's really it. There's not much to talk about. Like we were saying earlier, one of the worst things you could see, one of the worst movies you could see is a bad horror movie. So yeah, boring, nothing happens, not scary. I don't know. Should have been a documentary. Moving into number 4, another movie with an interesting premise that didn't really work out for me was the 1517 to Paris. Clint Eastwood, one of the most talented directors and actors to ever work in Hollywood, legend that guy is. He had this interesting premise of getting the real-life military survivors from this incident. And, I don't know, I thought it was interesting, but it didn't work out. You could just tell. A lot of the acting, which were kind of cheesy. So the acting was just atrocious, to be frank. And I was pretty excited for it because Clint Eastwood, like I said, legend. But
yeah, he did follow up this year with another movie too, The Mule, which is actually it was a decent movie too.
Yeah,
so we knew he followed. I mean, it's Clint Eastwood. He's not gonna miss more than he hits, but we already see that he followed up with a pretty decent movie too. Yeah. So
moving to number 3, a little lower on your list, but in my top 3 was Mortal Engines. Movie that I was kind of excited for from the first couple of trailers. Interesting premise of these cities that devour other ones to keep going. Visually, the movie was awesome. I think it had a lot of potential. I think that it could have been a better, maybe like an HBO series or a TV show, because there's a lot of story to tell, and they try to tell it all into one movie, and it was just a big mess.
I think too. I think it was a book series, I believe, and they throw like multiple books into one movie, and it's like that's just too much.
When you do that, it never really pans out. But yeah, moving into number 2, this is my worst movie of the year, but it's not my least favorite movie of the year, and that was Holmes and Watson. I would say the one thing that is worse than a bad horror movie, it's a bad comedy, because I think horror and comedy is the most subjective things in movies. When a comedy doesn't make you laugh, it's the worst kind of movie you could watch, and that's what Holmes and Watson was for me, which was a huge disappointment. Obviously, John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell, they're dynamic, and them together, it's almost worked every single time. Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, 2 of the best comedies I've ever seen, and this movie was just sad to see them like that. With all these jokes that didn't land. I think it was a stupid story, stupid premise. One of the more disappointing movies of the year, but like the trailers, I thought wasn't funny at all. But I was kind of hoping they were hiding the best jokes for the movie. But it turns out probably the best jokes were in the trailer. But yeah, very disappointing, not funny. I hope they redeem themselves within the next couple of years and come out with a new comedy together. But yeah, that's gonna be it. Next movie, number 1. But I'm kicking over to you for your 5 through 2.
All right, back to me. Our 6 and 5s were actually both the same. 5 Winchester for me as well. Same thing. Jason Clarke. He's my favorite supporting actor in Hollywood. Probably one of the best supporting actors in Hollywood without a doubt. His performances aren't too great, but like you feel his presence on screen. That's a big thing too. He's always been great in supporting acting roles. This is one he led in with Helen
Mara or something.
He led in, and it just the movie it almost should have been a documentary too. There's a story that they're just in this big haunted house, and a couple of jump scares they show in the trailers too. So it's like I'm already prepared for them. They're not there to scare me. And it really sucks too seeing Jason Clarke lead in a movie like this, because I wonder if he can be a good leading actor at some point. And that's one thing too. He's coming out with Pet Sematary this year, and it's a horror movie, another horror movie. So and it's Jason Clarke leading it again. So I mean, I'm gonna have high hopes for it, but we'll have to see. Number 4, you actually might be surprised. This is this low on my list. Venom. Venom's actually my number 4 movie. Venom was worst comic movie of the year easily. I mean, I know there was like 6 or 7 of them, but it was bad. I actually personally I did like a little bit like the actual when the symbiote Venom was actually talking and stuff like that. I didn't mind that as much as a lot of people. The end credit scene, if you haven't seen the movie and you do see the movie, make sure you watch that. That was actually really good.
That's the best scene in the whole movie.
Yeah, the best scene in the whole movie is the last 15 seconds or so. But yeah, at the same time, it was a really bad movie. But thinking about it, I put it at my number 4, but it's up there with these my next 2 that I'm about to name too. My number 1 it's on its own level of bad. But number 3, I'm moving to one you actually haven't seen this year, was A Wrinkle in Time. But yeah, it was really bad. Chris Pine was in it. That was you actually had a really great cast. You had Chris Pine, Oprah Winfrey, Reese Witherspoon. And there's also this other chick too. She's in a few movies, like a few better movies too.
She was in Ocean's 8. I kind of enjoyed her in that.
But man, like from everything, like the story just did not hit.
Disney doesn't really miss often, but when they miss, they really miss.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the everyone really praises the young actress in the movie too. I personally didn't see too much from her until there was one scene with her and Chris Pine about 20 minutes before the movie ended, and that's probably the best scene of the entire movie. It was an emotional scene between them two. It's father-daughter. And I mean, Chris Pine's gonna kill an emotional role. He kills most things he does. But the movie as a whole was just, why? I think it was I think they're gonna lose money on this too, Disney. I mean, not that it affects them, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely lost money.
Yeah, they're gonna lose money on this one. But then my number 2 movie, another one you actually didn't see this year, was Hurricane Heist. Hurricane Heist is one of those movies. It almost felt like a home movie, it was almost like filmed by just like friends and stuff. Well, I'm not saying it was a hurricane heist, so I mean there's tornadoes, there's a whole lot of weather stuff that was like really good on screen. But I meant from like the acting standpoint, oh my god, this is probably the most atrocious acting outside of my number 1 movie the entire year. It was literally stuff where it's like, hey you, let's go do this, and it was stuff like that, and it's like you're in a movie that's on the big screen too, and that's none of the and the story itself wasn't too good either. It's Hurricane Heist. It's a heist movie in a hurricane. They're trying to rob a bank pretty much in a hurricane. So yeah, that's my 5 through 2. Go back to you for your worst movie of the year.
Worst movie of the year, movie that I cannot wait to talk about. It was your number 4. It's my number 1. It is Venom. When I saw this movie, I hated life, hated myself. If I didn't see A Star Is Born the same night after I saw Venom, I don't know if I would have lived through the night. I hated this movie on every level. The whole entire movie, I was like this. So much cringe. Humor did not work. Worst acting performance ever by Tom Hardy. Same with Michelle Williams. She was terrible. I think it's actually complete disrespect to the source material. Venom's one of the most interesting characters that we've ever seen in comic books, and just to make it this slapstick buddy cop comedy like they try to do didn't work for me. It worked for a lot of people. I mean, it's made almost $900 million worldwide.
That's still crazy to me.
That's crazy to me, but it worked for a lot of people. I think Venom himself, I think it looked good. I think the action that he was involved with was pretty good. I didn't mind the way he sounded. But yeah, I hate everything about this movie. I don't want to shit on it too much because I know there's a lot of people that really, really like this movie, and I'm not saying that you can't like it. I'm just saying that I just hated it. It's one of the worst comic movies I've ever seen. I think it is Fant Four Stick and Catwoman bad. Maybe I'll see it again one day, and maybe I won't hate it as much. But
I saw it twice in theaters.
Yeah, just definitely a movie that I don't know. Like that's why it's my number. I don't think it's the worst movie of the year, but it's definitely the movie that I hated the most this year. Being the comic movie fan that I am, huge disappointment. End credit scene was really great. I will say that. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna see the sequel. I'm gonna be excited for the sequel. Yeah. But this movie did not work for me on any levels. And yeah, I don't want to keep talking about this movie because I'm already getting pissed off talking about it. So I'm gonna pass off to you for your number 1. I already know what it is, but
yeah, my number 1 worst movie of the year. was probably the movie you would agree, you would say was the worst movie of the year.
Worst of the year.
It was probably the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters. If I'm being completely honest, Holmes and Watson. It was how we talked about the Truth or Dare theme being like 2 hits for Universal and Blumhouse, and then Truth or Dare was a flop. You have Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, and then you go to Holmes and Watson with John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell. John C. Reilly's actually a pretty talented actor too, but he does a great job with Will Ferrell in these movies. But oh my god, like they would do stuff in the movie like, they would do something and I would literally say out loud why.
Mm-hmm.
What was the point of that? Literally, like there was no. It was the most sloppy story written that I've seen all year too. It was the worst screenplay of the year too.
Yeah, I think they just try to rely on the star power of these guys so much that they tell you a joke, it pauses for a second, and it's basically telling you laugh because this is Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly. Don't laugh because it's actually a good joke.
Yeah. I was outside of the first 5 minutes of the movie, it wasn't even remotely funny. I mean, the first the first 5 minutes is actually pretty funny. I mean, I'm not really spoiling much, but they beat up this kid with a pet turtle, and they grab the turtle and they just throw it. And they put emphasis on the turtle flying, and you're just like, that scene was actually pretty fun. But I mean, that was another thing. It's like, why? Like, the whole movie is literally why.
Yeah. And we saw with the group. There's a group of 4 of us. We all have very different perspective on movies, and we all hated it. On all of us. We all said after the movie we wanted to walk out. And if I knew that, I would have walked out too. I think a couple of us fell asleep a couple times.
Yeah, one of our friends sitting next to me, he was out pretty much the entire movie. I probably fell asleep for 10 minutes. I think our other friend fell asleep for a good little amount too. And yeah, sorry about that technical difficulty. Luckily, we were pretty much at a stopping point anyways. We were finishing up our top 10s, our not top 10s, finishing up my number 1 too. So we'll just run back our not top 10s of the year real quick, starting with Michael.
Yeah, so starting with number 10 was Sorry to Bother You. Number 9, Strangers Pray at Night. Number 8, Hellfest. Number 7, The Predator. Number 6, Truth or Dare. Number 5, Winchester. Number 4, The 1517 to Paris. Number 3, Mortal Engines. Number 2, Holmes and Watson. And number 1, Venom.
My top 10 worst of the worst this year, starting at 10 was Hellfest. Number 9, Breaking In. Number 8, Mortal Engines. Number 7, Night School. Number 6, Truth or Dare. 5, Winchester. 4, Venom. 3, A Wrinkle in Time. 2, Hurricane Heist. And 1, probably the worst movie I've ever seen in theaters ever, Holmes and Watson. That pretty much does it for this video. If you guys haven't already, we'll link in the description like we said earlier. Go check out our top 10 best of the year so you can actually see us be happy about movies. But outside that, I know we're going to start reviewing some movies to go into the year. From there, we'll do a lot of other cool stuff too. We'll pretty much let everyone know what we're going to be doing when we're doing it. But we'll probably start off, we're going to go see our first brand new movie of the year tomorrow, Escape Room. Start off with a review of that, which should be uploaded tomorrow from when you're seeing this video, I hope. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, also another thing, we want to do our most anticipated of 2019. Kind of get excited for the new year, kind of talk about what we're looking forward to. But yeah, man, we saw a lot of shit in 2018. I hope it's not the same in 2019.
Yeah.
We did skip out on a lot of bad stuff too. There's a lot of movies that, like Slender Man, Nutcracker in the Four Realms.
Yeah, I've heard that's
a lot of movies that, I think like Mile 22, a lot of movies we definitely are fortunate to have missed out on. 2019, we're going to try to see a lot more movies than we did this year. So unfortunately, it's probably going to be more shitty movies. But yeah, thanks for bearing with us. We're just starting out, so I'm thankful for you guys to be on this journey with us as we continue to grow and get better.
And learn.
Yeah, definitely. And
expand
learn.
our own knowledge. Hopefully you guys can help us do that too along the way. Hopefully we can help you guys learn a little bit more about movies, expand your knowledge too.
Yeah, so yeah, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Put your not top 10 of the year down in the comments. Keep it civil. Try not to be too mean to us or other people commenting.
Yeah, but if there was any movies you disagree with on our list, let us know too. But as you said, keep it civil. But I mean, if you thought a movie was good that was on our list that we thought was bad, I mean, let us know. We'd like to hear what you guys have to say too.
Yeah, nothing we like more than to talk about movies. So put down below, put your not top 10s, share thoughts about movies that we saw, or just if you want to just talk about movies in any way, just comment and we'll get back to you guys. But thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys on the next one.